How awesome is Stranger Things? I love it. I even liked episode 7, the controversial one of season 2. My girlfriend got me a Stranger Things jumper last year. We think it's absolutely great. And I'm going to show you how to play the intro theme. To be able to play this, you're going to have to detune at least one string on your guitar. And I'll show you exactly how to do that now. And the string it's going to be is the thickest string, so this one. Okay, so we need this lowest note to be a C. So if I turn on my tuner, and if you're using a guitar tuner, if you want to use a tuner for this, it needs to be a chromatic tuner. So it needs to show us, so this is currently just a little bit shy of the E. We're going to take this all the way down to C, which is quite a long way. Let me show you. So if I remember where it was, that's a full turn, and that's taking it just lower than the D. That's a C sharp because we got that little plus next to it, and there is the C note. Now you could do that by ear, so detune your guitar by, it was about a turn and a quarter or a turn and a half, just to get you in the general area. That will not be accurate if that's all that you're using, but you detune it so that it's lower, so that we can have that running out, running there in the bass, and then we're going to play one of the other notes on that string with the little finger here. So we can play this by leaving all the other strings the same, but one of the grips that we have, and to play a couple of other notes in it, it would be a little tricky, and this lesson would be more accessible if we also retune the D string to become an E. And other tutorials won't show you how to do this, but I really think this is going to be the way that more of you guys will be able to play this classic theme. So what we need is this D note to go not to D sharp, even further to the E. Now I will warn you, that is definitely one to be very careful with. Whenever you're tuning strings up, they are more likely to snap. You don't want to be doing this, throwing caution to the wind and just turning and turning and turning. Be very careful. Use a tuner if at all possible. And it's also a really good idea to have a spare set of strings before you start really retuning your guitar like this, just in case a string breaks, and then you have got another set ready to go. So just to confirm, I've left all the other strings the same in standard tuning, apart from the lowest note, which is a C, which is 4 semitones lower than the E note that it was at, so quite a long way. String 5 is still an A. I've chosen to tune the D string up to a D note, and the thinner 3 strings are exactly the same: G, B, and E. And now that we're tuned to the right notes, we can take a look at the picking hand. So what's going to happen here is we'll play the thickest string, and that is going to be playing on every beat, basically, to a nice, steady rhythm, and keeping it even. That's what the thumb's going to be doing. And then we're going to line up fingers 1, 2, and 3 on strings 4, 3, and 2, like this. So finger 3, finger 2, finger 1, like that. It's a good idea to keep your thumb ahead of these fingers to get a better tone rather than a scratchy tone. We don't want that because it sounds a bit scratchy. You get a better tone if you keep your thumb in front of them like this. And the easiest way to do the pattern would be thumb, first, middle, third, third, middle, first. One more time. And that should be to this rhythm. Thumb, first, middle, third, third. And then it's with the other hand, with the first finger, that we put your first finger where it would be for a C chord. So at the first fret of string 2, and it's when we play that third finger twice, that's where we add in that first finger. Then it's best if we can do a little flick off here. You can do it without, but you'd be picking that note 3 times, so without the flick off. So a flick off there does work best. Okay, so get used to that flick off first. Playing the note, so picking the note with the third finger and flicking off to that open string, because it may be new to many of you. And it's when we press that first finger down and we pluck it with the third finger that we want to hit the thumb again, and this would create that rhythm that we did at the start. Just playing that thumb at an even rhythm. Let me demonstrate. Okay, so when I hit, when the first finger goes down, we hit the thumb again. Together, thumb and third finger, and then we flick off. First, middle, first. Together, thumb and third finger, flick off with the first finger, middle, first. Then, at second fret of that thickest string, at the same time as we put the first finger down. So in context. Middle finger. Okay, so middle finger down at the same time, but then we keep the middle finger down. And then this is the toughest bit. This bit, not everyone will be able to do. I can appreciate that, and don't worry about it if this is the case. I'll show you some exercises that can get the stretch in your hand. But we need the little finger to hit the 4th fret of string 6. And then this first finger, yes, is still going to be flicking off here. So at the same, exactly the same as we've been doing here, we're going to do that now with the little finger. Now I choose to play this, and this is a choice, with my fingers on an angle to make that stretch, because that's the style of guitar that I am used to. Some people will have you do it like this, having the wrist a lot lower, and that's the more kind of classical style. And when your fingers are more in this position, you can see that I'm now leant right over. It's those sort of position choices which mean that some people kind of hold their guitar like this, and then this, holding it more in the classical fashion, like this, becomes far more sensible because of how you're holding the instrument and everything. Because I'm from a pop and rock school of playing, I choose to have my guitar on my strumming hand knee, so on the right knee. And then that just lends itself more to having your fingers more on this angle, keeping the elbow very much in to do these bigger stretches. Same with kind of lead guitar stuff as well. Elbow in and fingers on an angle is how we do bigger stretches from a pop, rock and kind of blues mentality. And if that's a real struggle for you, just to demo one more time, little finger here, and then the first finger needs to stretch to here. So a hell of a stretch. Middle fingers are not down. This finger and this finger are not down. Just the little finger and first finger here. But it's the same pattern, and just to show you the full thing while we're here, it would also work down. with this arrangement. That's how we're doing this arrangement. That's what we're going for. If that stretches too much for you, then the sort of finger exercises that I teach on my website, and we got a video here on YouTube, just doing this kind of thing. Middle, first finger, middle finger, third and little. You know, that's straightforward. That's pretty. That's at a beginner level if we're at the 5th fret and lining your fingers up in this fashion. However, if we move it down 2 frets, it's suddenly a lot wider. It's really noticeably wider, actually. And if we move it down to the 2nd fret and then the 3rd fret, well, suddenly you've got a real stretch in your hand, and doing that simple exercise of just playing first finger and perhaps keeping it down is one way to do it, then middle, then third and little like this, becomes very tough. It's challenging, but it's great to work and build in that stretch in your hand. And if you can't get that far, then just trying it a little bit higher up or a little bit higher up to begin with, and then working your way down your fretboard is a great idea. But just to cover this riff for one final time, such a cool little riff. We start off with the thumb, working up to string 2, thumb and first finger together. And then the middle finger at the same time. Same again, middle finger at the same time as the first. Love it. Thank you very much for watching. If you need more help with your fingerstyle, you can check out my fingerstyle course on download and DVD. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in another lesson.